Hi everybody, and welcome to today's very special Hangout. My name is Jack St. Arnaud, and I am one of the co-founders of Global Hangout, and today we're going to share with you our very new exciting name, Hubity. Today, along with Les Hewitt, who is the best-selling author of the book, The Power of Focus, and Dan Taggart, co-founder of Ancestry.com, we're going to tell you why we chose this new and exciting name, Hubity. First of all, it clarifies who we are, an innovative social media hub. We are not just about Hangouts. We're about using all social media effectively and building our social networks. It is definitive, it's fun, and it's not confusing. Les, I'm going to let you share with the folks what our experience was along the journey of looking for the name and why we chose the name, and certainly the people we talked to before we did it. Les?
Thanks, Jack. This is very exciting. I love the name because, we're cutting edge technology, so we need to be aligned with that on the internet these days. And of course, we all know one word is very popular and a very strong brand. I was actually researching this, and I talked to one of the top branding experts in the country, Jack, told him about our former name, Global Hangout, and he had one word in response. He said, vanilla. In other words, old, also confusing, of course, with the connection to Google and global. There was a lot of possible contradiction there and confusion. So he loved Hubity. He said, that's absolutely right on. You're in the right direction. And I love the fact that hub is in the name because we really are, as you said, a global hub for learning, for sharing what we learn, and of course for earning. And that all adds up to the most important thing is helping people around the world become more successful and live their best lives. So I think it's a great fit. There's a nice friendly energy to it, which makes it fun and it's youthful. And I think it's absolutely the way to go.
Great. Thanks very much, Les. Now, Dan Taggart, certainly we appreciated what Dan had to say along the way, and Dan was a big part of the conversations. And Dan, your experience was vast and very much appreciated when it come to this point. So tell us your experiences in the past and what you liked about it.
I've had a lot of interesting experiences with name changes in companies that I've had, including Ancestry.com. And we originally went out with Ancestry.com as the name, and we tried to raise money with the venture capital community. And in spite of how successful that company has become, nobody understood it in the beginning. And so when we talked to, very sophisticated venture capital firms, their eyes would just glaze over as soon as we started talking about Ancestry.com. They had this vision in their head of little old ladies sitting at microfilm readers and, dusty libraries and things like that. They just couldn't see how genealogy was going to be a big thing on the internet. And so as we thought about that problem, a good friend of mine suggested that we needed to come up with a name that broadened our appeal and actually gave us the ability to broaden our mission even. And so it was that conversation that was the genesis for the name MyFamily.com. Now, MyFamily.com had the additional benefit of being able to join living families, not just deceased members of your extended family, but your living family members as well. And when we went out with that idea and talked about MyFamily.com, that was so much more appealing and sexy to the venture capital community. And immediately, it was not a question of whether we were going to get the money. It was who we were going to take the money from. Everybody got it. It was just a much better brand than Ancestry.com was in the beginning. The irony is now they've changed the name back to Ancestry.com because all the money came out of genealogy. They finally learned their lesson. But in the beginning, it was that name change that really launched the company.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Dan. And I know when we launched Hubity, you gave us your thoughts on that. If you could just elaborate just a little bit on what you thought about it.
In fact, as soon as I heard the name, I was very excited because I had the same impression of Global Hangouts as others. It was kind of a vanilla name. It was kind of a generic term. It was descriptive, but descriptive names are not very brandable. They're not very memorable. Hubity is very brandable. And when you have something like what we're talking about, you want it to be different and unusual and something that people remember, and also something that allows you to have a broader kind of appeal and ability to bring in other technologies. Global Hangouts, quite honestly, was a little bit too much tied to the whole concept of a Google Hangout, which this is what we're doing right now. This is not the only thing we're going to be involved in. In fact, there'll be many, many other technologies that are going to come into play as we move forward. So Hubity is a much better choice, much more fun sounding name, much more memorable.
Yeah, and thank you very much. And certainly when you mentioned branding, we've got a beautiful brand and we've got that beautiful tag, that splash to go along with it. So we're very, very excited about what we've got for our future, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't something just for today. It's our future. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hubity.